Friends, for us it's a great privilege to host this event, focus on Telangana. Personally, for me, it's a great privilege because as part of my foreign service training, I had my district attachment for 2 months in Telangana, in Guntur and Hyderabad. So I'm very grateful to my friends in Telangana. And also as part of foreign service, I have been working in many countries, all continents, and wherever I have served, I have had extremely close friendship with the authorities in Telangana and the community in every country. And particularly in IT hubs of Silicon Valley. The role I was Deputy Consul General in San Francisco during 2001 to 2005, and I'm personally witness to the vibrancy of the people of Telangana and Hyderabad ecosystem and their role in creating the brand for India. India today is brightest spot in terms of economic growth, the fastest growing economy in G20, third largest economy in purchasing power terms, fifth largest economy in dollar terms, GDP. We are going to become third largest economy within the next 4 or 5 years. So India today is well known. But when we started in foreign service, it was not so. And our economic reform started in 1991. So we had to begin our presentation by focusing on the map where India lies. Particularly in US and Europe, North America, we had to focus on where India is and then you go start your briefing. But thanks to Hyderabad, thanks to Bangalore, I think this situation changed very dramatically. And the profile that Hyderabad built for its very robust IT industry, biotech industry, pharma industry, cutting edge research and development. So since many decades, I have been a great admirer of the creativity and ingenuity and professionalism of Andhra people and Telugu people. So I'm very eagerly looking forward to the presentation by our friends in Telangana. With regard to the objective, I have been in Ireland for about 2 years, a little more than 2 years. And what really strikes me is the complementarity I see between Telangana and Ireland. Although Telangana is, I think, 35 million people or more, and Ireland has about 5 million population. But if you look at the complementarity, Ireland, 5 million people, the GDP is about $500 billion.
Mostly American company.
Yeah, but it's economy and also the manufactured goods export from Ireland is about 200 more than 200 billion euros. And if you include the two-way manufactured goods trade, then it's more than 300 billion euros. So it's not just like services economy. Services sector also two-way trade is about 330 billion euros. So it's a very small population-wide, but very significant European economy. Also, Ireland is the fastest growing economy in European Union. Ireland also has an extremely vibrant startup and innovation ecosystem, one of the most successful clusters in startup segment in Europe. So I look at Telangana and Ireland, I see a lot of significant opportunities by leveraging each other's complementarity. Look at niche areas where we can complement and become each other's partners. I think I'll flag based on what both Telangana and Ireland have. IT sector is one very significant area. MedTech and medical devices is another very significant area. Third area is, I think, biological sciences, nutrition products. Again, this is a very significant opportunity for Telangana and Ireland. Our fourth cluster would be creative industries, entertainment, animation, and gaming, cultural and creative industries segment. And the fifth would be research and development. Startups, research and development, the entire ecosystem related surrounding research and development, innovation, entrepreneurship. And also, I'm aware that Telangana has been a pioneer in promoting women entrepreneurship. So this is again niche area where Ireland and India, Ireland and Telangana can look at specific practical ways of engaging. With regard to the way forward, I think once we have the presentation for friends in Telangana, then based on that, we can work out next steps. To my mind, the first and most important area to be focused on both sides is learning more about each other, because awareness level is low right now. So we need to learn more about each other, and then identify doable practical opportunities for linkages, working together, partnership. And also in partnership, my advice is to first focus on knowledge partnership. Because goods trade takes, like, it has its own dynamics. And if friends in Telangana are looking for a broader footprint, then Ireland is an ideal place to make your base. Because Ireland is only English-speaking country in European Union, and also is a very strategic location, both connecting the European Union, Europe, and also the transatlantic markets. So, friends in Telangana, I would encourage you to look at Ireland as a strategic presence, a strategic foothold for broader engagement, not necessarily for merchandise goods trade. Second aspect is given the limited awareness that exists on both sides, we have to leverage the presence of a very vibrant community from Telangana. So we are very privileged, very blessed to have extremely talented, hardworking professionals in the community here from Telangana. They have close ties. Most of them are first generation Indians, so they are still very deeply rooted and connected with India. And they are also well established in Ireland. So Indian diaspora from Telangana could be the natural point of contact for both, for friends in Telangana and friends in Ireland who are looking at India. And Indian Embassy is always available for friends in Telangana and also all friends in Ireland for any advice, any support, any guidance, any contacts that you need. You are most welcome. And my colleague Mrutraj and Hema, both are extremely committed, outstanding professionals. So please feel free to contact any one of us. Most welcome. Thank you so much.
Now, let's move on to the next module of this event, and let's invite the representative from the state government of Telangana to give a presentation covering trade, business, and investment opportunities and potential available in the Indian state of Telangana. Thank you.
Sir, just as thank you for a very kind introduction of Telangana, sir. And you rightly pointed out Hyderabad, which is the capital city of Telangana, is known for its prowess in both the IT sector and the pharma sector. In fact, we are one of the leading IT hubs of the country, just next to Bengaluru. And I should say, in the last few years, if you look at year-on-year growth, we have surpassed Bengaluru also in terms of both job creation and the number of IT companies that have come to Hyderabad. In the same way, if you look at life sciences, sir, which is our very strong presence, one simple fact conveys a lot of how strong our ecosystem is. Today, if you look at the vaccine production in the world, 1/3 of all the human vaccines produced in the world come from the city of Hyderabad. That is one in every 3 vaccines. So that, like, if you are, you or some of your family members, there is a possibility that at least one in, I mean, 33% chance that that vaccine would have originated from Hyderabad. That's how strong we are. And thanks to the Quad partnership, now we produce around 9 million doses. And in next 2 years, 14 billion doses of vaccines will be manufactured from the city alone. So our contribution to the world vaccine production is poised to jump to 44%. That's how strong we are in the life science sector. But again, this is something which was happening even as when we were part of the United Andhra Pradesh province also. But in 2014, because of a popular struggle for greater autonomy, Telangana was carved out of a united province of Andhra Pradesh, and we became the youngest state in India. The 28th state currently, we are the youngest state, just 10 years old. So we literally see ourselves as a startup. We are yet to reach our full potential in terms of economic growth and attracting investments and technology adoption. I hope the screen is visible in our.
Yes, it's
hello.
visible.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So for the participants, in terms of where we are right in the middle of India. We are in area wise, we are just as big as South Korea, with a population of Malaysia. So we are around 37 million. The latest figure is around 37 million. We are, but the fact is that though we constitute only 2.5% of the India's population, we contribute close to 4% of the 4.5% of the India's GDP. So almost contributing double the potential that we have in terms of GDP. And if you look at the figures, what we have able to achieve since 2014, this is nothing less than a transformational story. Again, here I would like to share two facts. In 2014, when we were formed as a separate state, we were in terms of agriculture, which still most Indian states are primarily agrarian. We were nowhere in the top 20 in terms of rice production. But in the last 10 years, thanks to many of the projects that have been done again by the previous government and also continued by the new government, we have become the second largest rice producing state in India. That's a kind of transformation that has happened in the agriculture sector in last 10 years. And we have also improved in terms of, as I was mentioning, in IT, we have surpassed Bengaluru. In pharma, we continue to be treated as the life sciences capital of Asia. Same thing in service sector, we are doing well. And all of this has translated in the figures that can be seen from this slide. Today, in terms of per capita income, if you ignore smaller states like Goa and Sikkim, we are the richest state in Telangana. I mean, 2014, the Niti Aayog report in 2014, when the state was formed, three districts of Telangana were declared as the most backward states in the country. We are poorest of the poor. But in 10 years down the line, now we are in a position to claim that we are the richest state in India. That's a kind of transformational journey that has happened in Telangana. And if you look at the next slide, this has happened across the three primary sectors of the economy, both agriculture, industries, and services, all clocking double-digit growths and all clocking growth rates which are more than the national average. And if you look at purely from the IT and industries point of view, our ecosystem is now very rich, especially in IT. We have close to 1,500 multinational companies which have made Hyderabad their home. And just like Ireland, I mean, in their case, I should bring a similarity of Ireland. Many of the global companies which are mentioned here, whether it is Google or Apple or Amazon, I'm sure many of their global headquarters are based in Ireland. But as far as at least Asia is concerned, I would say that their presence in Hyderabad is now among the largest. In fact, Amazon's largest campus is not even in USA. Amazon's largest campus is in Hyderabad. Google, Apple, Meta, Microsoft, Salesforce, Uber, all of them have their second largest presence in terms of the employment that they have generated here, in terms of the office space that they have created here. The second largest presence outside USA is in Hyderabad. That's how strong we are in the IT sector. And again, life sciences I've just mentioned, producing 1/3 of vaccines. Now our ecosystem is valued at 70 billion euros. And Novartis, their largest campus outside Switzerland is in Hyderabad. And similarly, now in the last 2 years, in terms of the pharma industry, the top five, all the top five companies have set up their establishments in Hyderabad, including their research and development, Medtronics, Roche, Sanofi, Bristol Myers Squibb. So again, a lot of interest from global multinationals in terms of life sciences. Aerospace and defense is something which has happened over the last 10 years. Now, the leading players in this segment, whether it is Boeing or GE or Lockheed Martin, Safran, all of them have successfully established their joint ventures in Hyderabad, and we have established ourselves as a leading aerospace and defense cluster in the country. One area which we are focused, and this is a priority for the new government also, is a segment of electronics. We are not yet there, but we are very confident because we have some good news to share. Foxconn has decided to set up its electronic manufacturing hub in Telangana. Last year, the foundation has happened, and by March, their first unit will be fully operational, producing products for Apple. We have other players like Qualcomm, Micron, and Nvidia, but they are mostly in the R&D side. We hope we can also bring them to the manufacturing side. And obviously, there is a lot of good news to share to all of you, but probably the question would arise, why Telangana and how Telangana? So here I have only 3 things to share with all of you. What we promised to potential investors and why we have been able to attract a good amount of multinationals and also domestic players in terms of new projects and new investments is essentially because of 3 reasons. What we offer to a potential investor is 3. Ease of doing business, number 1. Cost of doing business, very competitive, number 2. And number 3, very few states can promise, or probably very few countries can promise, is peace of doing business. Probably this may not apply in the true sense, because Europe, everyone would say that that's the best environment that you can get. But yes, working in our own ecosystem, this is something which is also very important for multinationals. So let me explain what I mean by these 3 things. Ease of doing business. Telangana had one of the earliest legislative acts that was brought by the new state, Telangana, is in the area of ease of doing business. We were the first state in India to produce a radical industrial policy, to the extent that we are the first state to bestow the right of self-certification to industry. So to set up an industry in Telangana, what it means is you don't require any approval from the government. You can straight away, if you are convinced about your project, you have a piece of land, you can straight away start constructing your factory without even bothering to approach the state for any prior clearances. Of course, there are certain statutory clearances like pollution approvals that are required, like fire certification or fire safety certification or pollution certificate. Those again, if you apply, mandatorily government has to clear in 15 days. And if we fail to give the clearance on the 16th day, it is deemed approval. So this is again supported by an enactment passed by the state assembly. So that, and because of this radical and very forward-looking, business-friendly legislative act, Telangana has stood in the top 3 in ease of doing business consecutively for the last 10 years. And we continue to maintain that position. And this is something which has become a role model for the entire country. So that's what I meant as ease of doing business. And the second thing that any potential investor looks is, what would be my cost of setting up a unit in Telangana? Here we have again a very innovative system of providing support to the industry. And to summarize it, it's called the meet or beat incentive. We know a multinational company which is looking to come to India would definitely assess and compare between different states in India. I mean, there are at least a dozen states which actively compete in attracting FDI. I mean, I can just name them like Tamil Nadu, Maharashtra, Karnataka, or Uttar Pradesh, or Gujarat. So what we offer to a potential investor is, we say that if it is a mega project and if it makes sense and it is meeting our own priorities as far as industrial policy is concerned, we would either match our competitors or beat them in terms of providing a bucket of incentives, whether it is land at a concessional rate, or providing you power, power at a cheaper rate, or tax exemptions, or transportation subsidy, or employment subsidy, or training subsidy. So in different buckets, we offer you subsidies so that your initial investment, the burden on you is manageable. So that's where we continue to be highly competitive in terms of what we can offer to a potential investor in terms of cost of doing business. And the third, what I meant was the ease of doing business, the piece of doing business. This is something which is intangible, I should say, but this is something which can have a direct bearing on your operations once you decide to set up your factory anywhere in India, or for that matter in any other country. So this is again a very important information, a piece of information we share with our potential investors. In the last 10 years, we are one of the very few states in India which have not even witnessed one single industrial strife. That's the level of cordial relations that we maintain at the government level, both with our unions and also with the industry players. Even during tough times like COVID, we were one of the few states where business operations were not discontinued. They, except for a very short period of 1 month when no one knew what to do with COVID, except for that 1 month, our industrial units in Telangana were not closed because of COVID. That's how we were able to maintain and integrate ourselves in global supply chains, and whether it is pharma, or whether it is IT, or whether aerospace and defense, the manufacturing process did not stop because of COVID. And this is something which, as a government, we took steps so that it is facilitated, whether it is transport of workers, or ensuring their safety and security. So all this were taken by the government. So this is what when we mean a piece of doing business. Of course, law and order, we are one of the best states in terms of law and order in the country. And more importantly, what we offer to the potential business people is that we continuously engage with you even after your investment is realized. We continue to talk to you. We take your feedback. One of the things that we do in terms of employment, which is always a big issue of hiring the right set of skilled manpower, we have a unique academy called the Telangana Academy for Skills and Knowledge. What it does is, if you are looking at 50 trained people in a particular area with a particular specialization, we train 100 people at our own cost, and we offer them to you, and you can pick and choose. So this will completely reduce your initial investment on skilling of manpower, at least at the entry level. I know senior management level, you have to do your own search. You set up your search committees. Your HR has to dwell into who will be manager, who will be my vice president, etc. But at the entry level, we take that pain for you. We completely take that pain away from you. We train people. We train more than at least double or 3 times that number of people we would like to recruit at the beginning, and in the curriculum and in the area that you are looking at, the skill set that you are looking at. So that's something which again we provide. That's why we confidently say that in terms of piece of doing business, this is the best state to be in. So the subsequent slides are just to brief you on what all we do. Single window system, as I was just mentioning, TSI pass. This is again first state to bestow the right of self-certification to industries and provide deemed approval. If there is a delay from our side, it is deemed approval. Then again, in industrial infrastructure, we have a huge land bank. We take care of power and water. Probably these are the same things which every state would offer. One thing which I wanted to highlight, apart from all the 3 main aspects that I highlighted, is the innovation part. This is again one reason why people come to Hyderabad. I mean, you could see these 2 images. These are world-class facilities. T-Hub looks after startups, and T-Works looks after the hardware prototyping. Both of them are unique institutions in that no other state in India can claim to have such institutions. T-Hub, in fact, is the world's largest incubation ecosystem that we have set up. I mean, until last year, it was second to Station F in Paris. But with the addition of new facilities, and with the T-Image Tower coming up fast, I think by next year we will be in a position to openly claim that we have the largest innovation campus in the world. Similarly, T-Works is India's only prototyping sector and prototyping center where a person can walk with an idea and come out with a product. Everything that needs to be done, including handholding, machines, are provided in T-Works. And this was inaugurated by none other than the chairman of Foxconn. And he was so impressed with the facility that he immediately said that he announced or he announced a contribution of a state-of-the-art SMTP line for T-Works. We also have other institutions like the Telangana Innovation Cell and the VHub or the Research and Innovation Circle of Hyderabad, which focus on specific aspects of innovation like rural innovation or women entrepreneurship. And these all contribute to having a very vibrant and rich ecosystem for supporting startups. These are some figures to say. Yes, we have a long way to go in terms of competing with other established startup hubs like Bengaluru or Mumbai or Delhi ecosystem. But we year-on-year growth again, year-on-year. That's what I'm to say. For a new investor, if you are looking at returns and a high rate of returns, then Telangana is a state to be. I've just mentioned about talent. This is something which we are, which is one of the key reasons why people come to Hyderabad. We have a lot of higher education institutions. We produce, we produce high. I think in India we are among the leading states to produce maximum number of engineers and maximum number of doctors and nurses. That's been our strength. As I was just mentioning, Hyderabad is again safest and the most happening city. All of you might have heard Mercer. Mercer rates global cities in terms of their livability. This is a dated one. 2019, they stopped the ranking because of COVID. But again, in 2023, they restarted. In 2023, again, Hyderabad was listed as the most livable city in India in terms of both the cost of living as well as safety. Best in class infrastructure. We have an international airport. These are something which you have to come and see and believe. To believe. I will stop here. I will only say that we are Telangana. As our new chief minister says, Telangana means business. Our red carpet doesn't stop after you come here. Our handholding will continue. That's the reason why many companies continue who come to set up one factory end up setting up at least 6 or 7 new projects. The classic example is Safran, the French giant in aerospace. A few years ago, when they were searching for a proper location to set up their unit, they, after comparing a lot of cities, they came to Hyderabad and decided to set up a very small manufacturing plant of electric harnesses. But within a short span of 5 years, they realized that doing business in Telangana is so easy and so quick. They have announced their 7th project this year, 7th project in the last 6 years, that too from a company like Safran. So that's how we are strong. So, friends from Ireland, just to summarize and what we can offer in terms of trade and business opportunities, some of the sectors have already mentioned. I will just summarize where we can really work. One is innovation. As I said, startup innovation. Our teams, both from T-Works and T-Hub, I think are already engaging with the embassy, taking their help in reaching out to the innovation ecosystem in Ireland. We have a unique project called T-Bridge, where this program, it provides a standard template for startups from Ireland to work in Hyderabad to explore the Indian market. At the same time, startups from Hyderabad to work in Dublin and to see to further develop their products for a European market. So that's a unique program. The template is standard. We have already successfully executed with many countries like UK, USA, Germany, France. So this can be something which can be immediately replicated with the Irish ecosystem in terms of startups is concerned. IT and innovation I've already mentioned. I've said enough. We become the GCC hub as far as at least Asia is concerned. Every year we add at least, we add more GCCs in India than Bengaluru, or Pune or Noida. Pharma, we are doing much. Aerospace and defense, these are all areas where we can really engage. Electronics is a priority area for us. This is something which we are really focusing apart from electronics is the Telangana Mobility Valley. Traditionally, the auto ecosystem has been very weak in this one. So the governments in Telangana have come up with a new policy. We were one of the first states to come up with an electric vehicle policy. And subsequent to the policy, we announced India's first and one of its kind Mobility Valley, where we plan to provide end-to-end ecosystem support, right from engineering to manufacturing to R&D, to talent, creation of the necessary talent, and also support innovation in the area of sustainable mobility and green mobility. Food processing, as I've just mentioned, we are witnessing a lot of good news and double-digit growths in both agriculture, horticulture, fisheries, even in the area of meat production and also oil production. Finally, something that we would also like to engage, this is what we offer. When we are looking at international partnerships, apart from investments and trade, what we also are looking at is, again, this is again where also request Ambassador to really help us, is in knowledge partnerships. We have some really good working partnerships in this context. For example, we are setting up a life sciences university in partnership with the King's College in London. And similarly, we're working with the Aero Campus Aquitaine in France to set up a Aeroskill Academy. We are also working with the University of Birmingham to set up India's center, a unique center of excellence for cold chain. There are a couple of universities in Australia and USA also that we are working. But if there are certain matchmaking that can be done with Irish universities or Irish centers of excellence, we would be very happy to take forward those discussions. So with that, I would like to end my session saying that my presentation essentially emphasizing that we are one of the most outward-looking states in Telangana. We have a very great team. We keep coming to Davos regularly. We have strong engagements with many of the European partners, and we would be happy to do this similar kind of interactions with Ireland. Thank you, sir.
Now, let's move on to the presentation by T-Hub. And may I now request Mr. Sujit Jagirda, the CEO of T-Hub, to go over his presentation. Thank you.
Thank you, and very good afternoon. So that's the foundation on which we have been brought up. In fact, the initial investment of close to $50 million was done by the government. And then the infrastructure, the beautiful infrastructure that Ratna was also mentioning. And then the OPEX, operations, is something that we have been managing on our own. And we have been fairly profitable. But having said that, as a not-for-profit entity, that's capped, that's limited, with a focus on social enablement as well, to generate employment through entrepreneurship. That's one of the fundamental facts based on which we have kind of built our edifice, if you will. So if you look at the objective, like I said, the entrepreneurship and the open innovation is what we drive. We have this is the actual building, by the way. It's one of the India's largest cantilever structure. This itself is very unique. It's standing on 4 pillars with 10 floors. In the 10 floors, we have close to about 500 startups. And once the top 2 floors are done, we should be housing close to 700 startups across close to 25 sectors and subsectors, making it one of the most innovative or largest innovation hubs. This is standing on an 18-acre land that also has tea works and the image towers that Vishnu was also mentioning about. We have some very innovative corporates that have taken up space here. For example, Apollo Tyres, I'm sure, sir, you would know, one of India's largest tire manufacturers have set up their digital center here. So is the case with NPCI. It's a federal government or central government's entity in digital payments, National Payments Corporation of India. Because all these entities, I'll talk about Hexagon, which is a Swedish company that has actually taken up a space for their center of excellence. So is the case with Care International, which is on social impact. It's an NGO, global NGO. They are working with us on running certain innovation in social impact and social sector as well. If you look at it, it kind of cuts across multiple sectors, the kind of collaborations that we do with the corporates or government entities. And when I talk of government entities, Department of Science and Technology and T-Hub is collaborating. In fact, it's very incidental that tomorrow we are inaugurating one of the largest AI ML labs that is being set up here on the 7th floor, primarily focused on cutting edge technologies to help startups to go through their startup journey. And similarly, with Atal Incubation Center, we are running 5 different cohorts, from healthcare to sustainability to space tech to EV mobility. So some of these are in collaboration with the federal government as well. CII, I'm sure all of us know CII, the Confederation of Indian Industry. They have their startup center, India headquarters based out of here. It's called CIES, Center for Innovation, Entrepreneurship, and Startups. Similarly, Apple, through one of their channel partners, have set up a digital experience hub. So the whole idea is to build an ecosystem that not only helps startups to go through their journey, and we run very curated programs. I'll talk briefly about it. That's what we do for our living. We also enable the connects with the corporates to solve some of their critical problems, not just with corporates, but also with the state and central governments as well. In fact, Ambassador Sir, as we speak, there are about 6 conversations happening with 6 different state governments. For example, with Bihar, with Orissa, with Punjab, with Jammu and Kashmir, with UP, and with Maharashtra. So all of them, for various reasons, somebody wants to set up. In fact, I forgot to tell you, Tamil Nadu, some of the senior government leaders were here just as of today to see how they can do something like this in their own states. And we consider all of this as collaboration, not as competition. We also work with the various global governments. I think Vishnu Garu has covered some of them, like for example with Australia, especially with Western Australia, we are running very focused set of engagement conversations through an entity called JETSI, their arm in the government. Similarly with the UK, we are running few programs for their startups through UKRI, UK Research and Innovation arm called Innovate UK. Similarly, I think we fundamentally believe that it's through partnerships only that we can really propagate this whole concept of open innovation and help startups find their true worth, right, in terms of collaboration and co-creation. So very quickly, I think Vishnu Garu, I heard him cover some of these areas, in terms of entities. So I won't spend more time. But just to let you know, when somebody plugs into Telangana ecosystem, it's not just T-Hub or T-Works. There are 9 other, the total 9 entities called Navratnas, focusing on different areas. For example, T-Hub is on startup innovation, T-Works is on prototyping, V-Hub on women entrepreneurship. Likewise, whether it is rural innovation or lab to market focus, or in terms of skilling and development, etc. So these are the entities that the corporates or the government that are working with us get access to. So the question comes back to, so okay, all this is great. So what do you do here on day to day? We actually work with 4 areas or 4 segments of our ecosystem. One is the startups that I briefly spoke of, government, and I didn't mention about some of the state government, central governments, global governments that we are working with. Corporates is one of the biggest area of focus for us because a lot of them come to T-Hub for accessing startups, obviously, for solutions. But more importantly, of late, we are finding them coming here to solve some of the critical problems that probably internally they are not able to. And that's what the open innovation ecosystem is enabling. And it doesn't matter whether it is an India startup, Telangana, corporate, or a global corporate. And we are working with, till now, we have worked with close to 600 corporates in the last 8 to 9 years. As we speak, we are running close to 35 different innovation programs. And then we also work very closely with academia. And again, Vishnu Garu mentioned about it, whether it is La Trobe University, Wales University, or Indian universities, quite a few of them. Some of them are anyway part of our board. But when it comes to startup, we follow a framework called 6M and 2Ps. That's there right on the top in the slide, if you see, whether it is methodologies, market access, money, which is nothing but funding, a lot of motivation that we need to provide to startups, mentorship that we provide to startups, and manpower when startups, which is a no-name entity, and they can't go and hire the best of the minds. So we provide support to hiring. So this is the 6 M's that we focus on. Then the 2 P's are partnerships and policy advisory. Partnerships, obviously, whether it is, for example, with ESB, it is shaping up into a phenomenal partnership, and we are all looking forward to building multiple programs collaboratively. Similarly, likewise, with some key focus countries, we are building partnerships. So is with IITs, IIMs, and some of the other hubs that we have in India as well. And of course, we are invited to kind of contribute to policy making purely because we are in the innovation ecosystem. So we do contribute, whether it is working along with the state government or the central level. So this is what we typically do. This is a little different representation of what we do, the kind of programs we run for the startups. So when typically in a year, we get about 15 to 20,000 applications. For programs that we run, the intake ratio is about 4 to 5%. And we run from idea stage to till they are able to raise funds. There are 4 different programs that we run: Blitz, Rubrics, Lab 32, T Angel that you see there. They are programs focused on whether it for idea consolidation or for creating prototyping, product prototype, or taking the product to the market, repivoting if the changes are required to be done because it might have failed in the market. So come back, how do you make it successful, to actually help them, make them ready to raise funds. So those are 4 different programs, post which once they raise funds, the VCs, the angels come into picture. So they take responsibility in some sense, they take ownership because they take stakes. We don't take stake in the startups. We kind of provide support through enabling funding, but we don't do the stakes. So given all of this, if I have to consolidate whatever last 7-8 minutes of my talk, this is what we are delivering today. We have supported in the last 8 to 9 years 2,000 plus startups, and out of we have engaged with 600 plus corporates. We have venture capitalists to angels as a part of our network. The startups have access to them. Similarly, close to 200 plus mentors. Some of them are veterans sitting in the room right that I'm seeing, who have expertise from various sectors and industries, who mentor the startups. We also have value partners who are part of our network. For example, the Googles, the Microsofts, the Amazons of the world, to legal teams or hiring teams, support on IP, the teams that can provide support on IP. They're all part of our network. That's what startups get access to. Interestingly, some of the international governments have taken up space here. For example, the Trade Consulate of France has taken up a space that they want to work closely with the startups here in Telangana. And when I talk of Telangana, these 2,000 startups, 50% of them are from Telangana, 40% of them are from across the country, and 10% of them are global. We have supported incubated, accelerated startups from Australia, UK, then Japan, South Korea, and Armenia. So that way, there's a very congenial conversation with global entities as well. We have helped raise close to $2 billion funding. The survival rate, one of the measures that we take very seriously, is how much have we helped the startups survive, because the mortality is 93%. So we are reasonably proud to say that our survival rate has been up from 7%, that is outside, if a startup is that lies outside, to 37%. And we have also helped create employment as well. This is a very quick split of the startups and the focus areas. from healthcare, medtech. In fact, it cuts across major segments of the industry, to fintech, to say manufacturing, mobility. Of course, deep tech is one of the big areas. Almost 30% of our startups are in deep tech. When I say deep tech, it's AI, ML, Gen AI, Web3, blockchain, AR, VR, VFX solutions. Some of the named startups, some of them that you see right on the top, went on to become either unicorns or they have raised a significant amount of funding and they are big, or they have got into IPOs, etc. And we have been awarded as the best business incubator twice over at the national level, both in 22 and 23. And I did mention about some of the incubators that we have, the AIC-led incubator, CII, etc. I think Vishnu Garu referred to T-Bridge. It's a very important global program, while I would not dwell again deeper. But essentially, that is the bridge that provides market access for startups from India to the global various countries, or vice versa, for global startups to have market access to India, not just Telangana. Similarly, whether it is to support capacity building or for technical collaborations as well, right? So this is one of the bridge program that we done, and it has been on for a few years, so it has matured. Again, we work across, but some of the key countries, I think Vishnu Garu also mentioned, so I'll not dwell again, whether it is universities or hubs or entities like ESB or, government entities, right? So we've been collaborating and we have been trying to see how we can create a concept. I mean, there's a concept of open innovation. That's what we are trying to promote and promulgate. And these are some of our value partners, just a small list. That's all. Let me pause here.
So now we have come to the conclusion now. I mean, concluding one of this session, I may request Ambassador to do a concluding remarks so that they will take some actionable points.
Thank you. I must applaud outstanding presentation by my dear friend Dr. Vishnu, and also Sajid. Very inspiring, very interesting presentations, and also your enthusiasm and passion for changing in India and making India a vibrant innovation hub is very infectious. We are all inspired. I have been to Hyderabad many times, and I'm always really stunned by the vibrancy and talent, professionalism, commitment of people from Telangana. So I'm very happy to reconnect, and we look forward to really continuing our engagement. I think what we can do is we can begin with focus on startup and innovation segment, and we can have a separate program with Irish universities and other innovation hubs, and also we can invite Indian origin startups. We have, I think, around.
Can I add on? And all Irish universities are coming to Delhi on the 14th. I'm part of the delegation. And if T-Hub is actually interested to pitching your program, that is the best thing. You could visit 14th, maybe you can invite them. And yeah.
I think we can focus on one special dedicated event on innovation in our Telangana and bring in focused entities from Irish universities and other innovation hubs in Ireland. And we can have also participants from Indian origin startups, particularly in technology sector. We have, I think, about 30 or so Indian, around 30, 40 Indian origin startups based in Ireland. So I think we can explore connectivity between Ireland and Telangana. Second is your bridge program is very interesting. So if you can share with us the basic modalities of the bridge program with any country which you feel is working most efficiently, most productively. If you can share with that template, I will be happy to explore it from the Irish side. Third is, third action point I would suggest is that anytime you or your friends in Telangana, the Invest Telangana or other T-Hub or we have, you are coming to UK then please do spare one day for Ireland. It will be worthwhile because you don't need a separate visa. If you have visa for UK, you can also come to Ireland. So please do visit. Make a physical visit to Ireland. We'll be happy to facilitate your interaction with the right interlocutors. This will be useful.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, and lastly, it will be good for university connect. Like we can have some kind of innovative scheme under which the young startups or young university professors, mentors, they can come to Ireland for 1 week or so and have a tour of Ireland. Similarly, the Irish innovation managers, they can come to India and visit not only Telangana, maybe to other centers. So I think we need greater awareness. That is the biggest limitation we have. So the more we engage, better it is. And we can, I think, continue engagement through virtual platforms with minimal expenditure.
Sure. Oh,
And-
fantastic ideas.
And lastly, please don't hesitate. As the Prime Minister has given us mandate, Ek Bharat, Shresth Bharat. So we represent in Dublin whole of India, any part of India, all sectors of Indian economy and culture. So please don't hesitate if anyone from your business committee members, they are looking for some idea, some information, some contacts, and please write to us.
Sure.
Thank you. Thank you, Chala.
Thank you. Thank you.